Hi guys, welcome to Devs Only Sports. This is episode 31. The first leg of the UCL games are now over. We have all our results. We're now going to the second game. Everything's getting flipped over, or the second leg, I should say. So we're here to basically, we gave some predictions on who we thought would win on the aggregate, so who would win in total. But now we're provided with new information, changed our minds a little bit. So we're just gonna go through them one by one. We'll start off with probably one of the more important and anticipated game, which is PSG and Bayern Munich. Two good teams, but PSG have been dealing with some issues. And honestly, that is such an understatement
That
because
is an understatement. That is a major understatement. Okay,
you
let's
know,
get into this.
wait.
PSG is
The whole meme where it's like, like when I show up to my grandma's funeral and he's like just in like in pajamas, but then it's like show up to the PSG downfall and he's like in a suit and tie. That's exactly how I feel like right now. Because even when we were making our predictions for the year, I was like, I just
oh,
don't think
dude,
PSG are that team, and it is proving it
aren't.
so.
I agree with you. I agree with everyone. PSG is not a good team. I
You
understand that.
have them winning the UCL.
Yes, and that is strictly because I want Messi to win the UCL. Has nothing to do with me actually thinking that PSG is a good team. I know PSG is a terrible team. Okay, they have a bunch of really talented players, high name players that cannot
Uh,
play together at all. They have no midfield. Their defense has been very average as of recently. And their front three, okay, Mbappe is really good. Messi is good, but he doesn't play any defense. And Neymar is absolutely atrocious right now. He's absolutely terrible. Thank God Neymar got injured. Now PSG actually have a chance in Munich because if PSG went to Munich with Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi playing in the front three, they'd get killed because they play absolutely no defense. You have three players that will never get back, and that basically means that Bayern's playing 11 on 8, so or 10 on 8. So it's like it just totally a good thing for PSG that Neymar got hurt. Now in this case, they have Mbappe and Messi at the top. They're gonna add. I don't know who else they're gonna play up there. Probably maybe like Ronaldo Sanchez. I don't know. They'll play someone up there. Okay. This will allow or at least maybe they'll be able to have someone that can get back a little bit and play some defense because I understand that they're down 1-0 on aggregate, but if you give up goals, you're screwed. So you need to be able to defend and then score goals. So I think that the best thing that happened for PSG is that Neymar got hurt. Now they're gonna be able to have a little more defense because Neymar honestly hasn't done anything for PSG in the last few weeks. I mean, he's just literally trying to score goals all the time and never plays any defense and just goes carries the ball by himself. Like you're not that guy, pal. Like you're not that guy. I'm sorry. Prime Neymar was in Barca, not at PSG. So that's that. But I think that as I said before, Bayern is a better team. They're at home. They're up 1-0 in aggregate. They should win this tie. But I'm gonna have to go with PSG because I think that Mbappe is gonna come through. And he or no, I don't think he's gonna come through. I'm praying that he comes through because Messi needs to win this Champions League. And also the thing is, Bayern dominated PSG at PSG, right? They only won 1-0 in aggregate. And if you watch the last 30 minutes of that game, PSG were in control. And you know what happened in the last 30 minutes of the game? Mbappe got put in the game. When they put Mbappe into the game, Mbappe scored two goals. Both of them were called offside. And PSG started playing really well when Mbappe was in there. So I think that with Mbappe and Messi, they'll at least have a chance. They'll at least have a chance. They'll be able to they'll be able to put someone else in the front three that'll stay like a little lower down on the field, won't go pushing the ball up like Neymar does the whole time. They'll play a little better defense. They'll be a little more controlled in the back line. And Messi and Mbappe will probably be able to score 2 or 3 goals, hopefully, and get the result in Munich. I mean, last year we saw Munich lose at home to Villarreal and get knocked out of the Champions League. Bayern is a very good team, but they're not playing great either. Everyone's like hyping them up, but they're not playing great either. They're just playing better than PSG because who isn't? But I mean, I'm a little concerned about them. If Mane comes back, I think that I think again Bayern are a better team, but I'm just gonna have to go with Mbappe and Messi clutching up because Neymar is out, and I need them to win the Champions.
yeah, absolutely no shot. Like, what else do I need to say, bro? Like, I've been saying that
You're not
PSG,
even wrong, bro. You're not even wrong.
like, yes, they are a very good team.
No,
You've
no,
got
no. They're a very talented team. They're not a good
they're
team at
okay,
all.
yeah, they're a very good time. I mean, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, you'd think that they'd be the best team out there, yet they lost to Bayern 1-0, right? And now that Bayern, we're playing in Munich now,
Yeah,
so
in Munich.
I I simply just see absolutely not. And I said this in the last episode that we did on the UCL that typically the team that is home second will end up
True.
winning.
Yeah.
And now the fact that they have the lead in the aggregate as well, I simply see no hope for PSG. I think this is the beginning of the downfall. Messi will end up going to the Saudi Arabian League, just like Ronaldo
No,
did.
no, no, no. Messi's not like that. That's for Cristiano. That's for Cristiano, but no, no, no. Messi might go to like I don't know. They had some reports that he was like trying to sign with Inter Milan before the season. Very odd. I don't like that, but I don't know. We'll see where
Messi,
Messi goes.
Messi to the United States.
Messi to Inter Miami. Neymar to Chelsea. Chelsea gets even worse, but we'll see. And now we'll get on to the next game because this game, that's all you can really say about it. There's nothing really else to say about it. We'll get into Tottenham Milan, and this is your team, the
Yeah,
Coys.
yeah.
Glory, glory, Tottenham Hot.
Hotspur. Yeah.
But we'll see. They absolutely sold in Milan. Milan won 1-0.
Um,
They didn't
on
absolutely
seven.
sell.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
it would have
they
been a
they
tie
lost
game.
1-0.
Like to be
They
fair.
won they lost 1-0 in the San Siro. But I think that Tottenham being at home in the second leg, down 1-0, they're still in it. They're really much still in it. Milan has been playing decent this year, but not great. Tottenham just got a result against Chelsea, 1-2-0. So I think that Tottenham at home with Harry Kane are going to get the victory and they're going to win on aggregate and they're going to move on to the round of eight. They won't go farther than that, but they'll get on to the round of eight. They'll beat Milan
Mhm.
at home and they'll move on to the next round of the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, for me as a Tottenham fan, I mean, I don't think it's going to be as smooth sailing as that. I don't think that we can beat Milan 2-0. I think it'll be like a 2-1, or even it might even be one
That's 2
nil.
1, then they're tied and they'll go to extra time and they'll keep playing.
Yeah, that's why. So I feel like,
Oh my
as much
God.
as I would like them to just like win outright and just, win
Uh-huh.
2-0, call it a day, move on, I feel like it will go into extra
PKs?
time.
PKs?
It
Or,
might.
or,
And
or
at that point, I just don't know. I love
if you
Tottenham.
okay, like put it this way, if it goes to PKs,
Yeah,
Milan's gonna win. Milan's gonna win if it goes to PKs.
that's what I'm saying
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
love Tottenham, I'm a Tottenham fan, but I know where we're at, okay?
yeah.
And us winning 2-0 or well,
Beat
we
Chelsea
basically
2-0.
need to we beat Chelsea 2-0 because Chelsea is not a good team. I mean,
Yeah, they do. I agree.
and so,
But
like I just feel like beating AC Milan 2-0 is a bit of a stretch. I
yeah,
feel like it'll either be 2-1 or it'll be 1-0, right? We go into the tie, we go into extra time. And at that point, I just don't really know. I can see it going either way. We might score a goal in, the 20 or the 30 minutes of stoppage time. Like, who knows? But I don't know. I want to go
yeah,
with Tottenham just because I'm a Tottenham fan, so I'm always going to go with Tottenham. But they literally need to win 2-0. It won't be
yeah,
any more. It has to be 2-0. And I just think that's a stretch. I feel like AC Milan, I feel like Tottenham will go up early and then AC Milan will then respond, and then Tottenham
yeah,
will just try to tie it, and they will end
yeah.
up doing so because Harry Kane will be, 6 feet from the goal line and just, tap one in. That's basically what I think will happen. But yeah, I'm just gonna
Cut
go with
that.
Tottenham on
All
on the
right.
tie,
Okay.
not on the aggregate, on the tie.
Oh, no, so you think that Tottenham's gonna win the game, but you're not sure about like the on aggregate. You're not sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think they'll win on aggregate. I think they will win on the tie.
Okay. And then we have Benfica versus Club Brugge.
Uh,
Another interesting matchup. People were getting heated when I said that Benfica was not a big club. What I meant was that they couldn't pay anyone because all their players leave the Premier League. They're not a big enough club to pay their guys. Yes, I understand they won the Champions League in the 1960s, but so did Nottingham Forest. So is Nottingham Forest a big club?
that is
Like, no.
wild.
So no, Benfica has a rich history, but right now they're not one of the top 10 biggest teams in Europe just based on how much money that they could give out to players. So in
Yeah,
my opinion, but I still think that they're a good team. And Benfica is going to beat Club Brugge. They beat them in Club Brugge. Now they're playing at Benfica in Portugal. It's a W for Benfica. They won 2-0 last game.
yeah,
They're going to win again. That's just a quick pick. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but Benfica is going to move on to the round of eight. We'll see if they'll be able to make any noise after that, but I have
yeah,
Benfica beating Club Brugge. Next
yeah.
game, Chelsea Dortmund. Interesting matchup because Chelsea has the most spending or has spent the most this transfer window, and it's still a shitty team. So they're gonna play Dortmund at home. Dortmund won 1-0 in Germany. But the thing that was interesting about that game is the last 30 minutes of that game, Chelsea had so many opportunities, and Chelsea was so close to scoring. I mean, Chelsea really dominated Dortmund after Dortmund scored that goal, but they weren't able to come away with the goal. And now they're playing in London, in Chelsea. And I think that, like they're down 1-0 on aggregate. Thiago Silva just got hurt. But like genuinely, Chelsea has to win. I mean, they're down 1-0 on aggregate. It's in Chelsea. This is European football. I think that Dortmund's a better team right now. Dortmund's on a crazy hot streak, but I mean, I just have to believe that Chelsea's going to find a way to win at home against Dortmund. If they win at home, it at least will go to extra time. So I think that this is a very risky pick again. This is kind of like my PSG pick, but again, I think that Dortmund's a very superior team right now to Chelsea. They're in great form. I think Dortmund's won like 7 or 8 straight games. They're just totally dominating the competition, but that is in the Bundesliga. Now they have to play Chelsea in Chelsea. And this is Europe. I'm telling you, European football is different. You can't really judge it the same way. I think that Chelsea's going to win this game and they're going to win the tie. And I think they're going to move on. I don't think they deserve to move on. I don't think they're going to do anything after that, but I just think that it could have been a lot worse, for example. Like they went to Dortmund and they lost 1-0. If they lost 3-0, 2-0, fine, they're done. But they only lost 1-0. They almost scored in Dortmund multiple times. They could have had a win in that game. I just think that Chelsea's going to find a way to gut it out at home.
And I am so glad you said that, because I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I kind of want Chelsea to win on the aggregate here. And I think that they could. Like, to be fair,
I think that they will. I mean, I don't think that I think Dortmund's a better team, but Dortmund didn't do well enough at home. They should have won by more than one goal.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea home games are something to be reckoned with. And especially in the UCL, the fans are always going to show up. And the fans desperately need this. So I just think that I think that, Chelsea, although we do talk so much smack about them recently because of all the stuff that they've been going through, I think, we're looking at maybe a Chelsea 2-0, dare I say a 3-0 win.
I don't know. I don't know about 3-0. I don't know about 3-0. I could see a 2-0 win. I could even see a 2-0 or 2-1 win, and then they go to extra time and then scoring a goal in extra time, because in Chelsea, I just think it's going to be hard for Dortmund to come into extra time and win that. So I think that the home team in the second leg, only being down 1-0 in aggregate, Chelsea has time to figure it out. I think they're going to figure it out. They've really been struggling, but I have Chelsea winning. Next game, Porto versus Inter Milan. This game in the first leg was an absolutely brutal game to watch. I mean, no one wanted to watch that game. Terrible. Like it was just there was like it was physical. There wasn't a great ton of great opportunities. There's Porto had a really good opportunity that got stopped, a great stop by the Milan goalkeeper. And then Milan scored a goal. I think Lukaku scored a goal like in like the 83rd minute, 84th minute. But Milan won 1-0 in Milan. Now they have to go to Porto. And this one, for me, is a toss-up, because I think that Milan is a better team and should win. But the way that they played in the first leg at home against Porto kind of like bogs the game down a lot. They're kind of like Atletico Madrid, and says they really want to make the game like a brutal game to play, not pretty style of football at all, but they just make it hard for you to win, and they do. That's why they're pretty successful. I could see Porto winning this. I think that Milan probably should win, and they're up 1-0 on aggregate. I'm just concerned because I think it's gonna be a low scoring game again. In this game, I don't know what the over under is gonna be, but I'd honestly take the under. I feel like it's gonna be kind of like a brutal match. A lot of physicality, not a lot of great opportunities. But I gotta believe that Milan's gonna to stick through and win. I think that Milan is just a better team than Porto. They have more high end talent, and I just think that Porto could definitely take the lead, but I think that Milan will find a way to scrap it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. I initially picked Porto to win this matchup. And, our assessment of it initially was just the fact that these were two teams that were like as mid as you can get. And the competition between the two, we knew it wasn't going to be anything special. we
It
just
was
kind
against
of
City, yeah.
assessed it. Yeah, we just kind of assessed it on the fact that, well, Porto is going to be the team at home second. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
And that's how I was assessing it. But now the fact that Inter won 1-0 against Porto, and I mean, they scored a goal in the 86th minute when Porto only had 10 guys on the field, including the
They got a
goalkeeper.
red card. Yeah, they got a red card
So,
earlier, so yeah.
like I can wholeheartedly see this just being a nil-nil affair.
Yeah,
No
no,
one
I could
scores,
100%. 100%.
nothing happens. Inter wins on
I
the aggregate just because they
Yeah,
scored some cheeky goal 4 minutes
yeah.
before the game ended.
Facts. I could
So
totally see that. It's that kind of thing. This totally reminds me of like, yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, there's nothing else to say. I mean, it's gonna be a boring game. It's probably not gonna be a lot of like actual like in play possession. There's probably gonna be a lot of fouls.
yeah,
Just a lot of like bad physical football. But who cares if you get the result, you get the result. But moving on
yeah.
to Man City versus Leipzig, Pep Guardiola under huge pressure to win this tie. They they drew in Leipzig 1-1. They were up 1-0 in the first half. They were dominating Leipzig in the first half. And the second half, Leipzig had control of the game. I mean, they really put their foot in it and they looked pretty good in the second half. But this one in Manchester, City's got to win, bro. I mean, they pay every single player in Europe. They got to win this. They just got Erling Haaland. He's still doing well, but I mean, this team as a whole does not look the same as they did like last year and the few years before. They're still getting results, but they just don't look as dominant and as potent as they were in the past. But in my
Mhm.
opinion, Manchester City is going to be too much for Leipzig at home. Holland's probably going to score a goal.
Yeah.
Grealish is might probably will get a few assists. I just think that City at home can easily. I could easily see this game, even though Man City's playing terrible right now, for their standards. I could easily see like City winning like 4-2 on in this game and winning like 5-3 on aggregate. I could just see City just pummeling the goals. Like this thing that City does. City has a stretch where they just like absolutely look terrible, and then they just the next game they score 5 goals because
Well,
that's the
yeah.
kind of team that they are. It just you can't consistently rely on City to score 5 goals every game because they're like really reliant on like they're kind of like Spain in the sense that they pass a lot and they have a lot of good passing. And if a team really sits back and really stays back on them, they could have trouble. But I just think that they need to win this. They're going to feel that sense of urgency, and City's going to win at home against Leipzig. I think Leipzig is a good team, but I just think that City's going to win.
Yep. I mean, nothing else there.
Yeah, yeah,
City to me is the better team without a doubt in my
yeah.
mind. The fact that they even
So
drew, I genuinely thought they were going to win this game, but
facts. They
apparently
screwed up
not.
my bet. They screwed up my parlay. I'm mad at them. I would have won $200 if you guys didn't freaking tie at Leipzig. So screw you guys, but you guys better win. Now we'll move
Wild.
on. Now we'll move on to Napoli versus Frankfurt. I like what I'm seeing from this Napoli team. This
I
Napoli team
told you,
is
man.
good.
I
This
told
Napoli
you.
team is good, bro. I watched some of their thing against Frankfurt, bro. That team is a really good team. Honestly, in my opinion, if we're looking at the top teams to win this Champions League, it's gonna be Real Madrid and then Napoli because Napoli looks right now the part. They look like honestly one of the top teams in Europe. They're absolutely running away with Serie A. I think they're up by 15, 16 points, some insane number. They're going to win the Scudetto. Now they play Frankfurt in the second leg in Napoli. I honestly,
Yeah.
if they rest, like they're up 2-0 in aggregate right now, I could easily see Napoli just absolutely pummeling Frankfurt at home. Like pummeling. I could see this game being 3 or 4-0. They might not do that
Yeah.
because they might want to just hold it back. They're already up 2-0. They don't want to take it too much. But I can just see Napoli dominating Frankfurt. Napoli is playing amazing. They completely controlled the game against Frankfurt in Frankfurt, and that's a tough atmosphere to play in. Now they get to play in front of their home fans. It's going to be a great atmosphere in Napoli at the Maradona Stadium. I just think that Napoli is going to absolutely pummel on track Frankfurt. Napoli has a chance to win this Champions League, a real shot to win this Champions League. They have
Yeah.
some very good players. This is their year because some of their players might leave to bigger clubs, but this year is Napoli's year to do some big things. And I want them to win the Champions League because I don't want to see it in Madrid again. Boring. City, boring. PSG, maybe if Messi, but they're not going to win it. So take them out. Napoli needs to get this done, bro. Napoli needs to get this done. I like Napoli a lot. They're playing great. Oshiman is just scoring goals like crazy. He'll probably get another few goals, but I got Napoli.
I mean, I said it in the last episode that I thought
Yeah.
Napoli were gonna win the UCL, and here we are talking about Napoli after they
Okay,
beat
okay, settle down. It's
Frankfurt
still the round of 16, bro.
2-0
It's
in
still the round of
Germany.
16. It's still around a 16.
Just saying.
They got a red card after 30 minutes. So they were playing against 10 men the whole time. So
And they got a red card and then they capitalized on it like a good team should.
true. That's fair. That's fair. And then the last game of the round of 16.
Let me just say,
Ah,
right? Liverpool could have literally put me and you into the starting 11.
And we would have done better than this, bro. This
We would have
is
done better.
embarrassing. Okay, so I told everyone in the comments, or I told everyone in the last video that Real Madrid was gonna pummel Liverpool on aggregate. On aggregate. I didn't think that in Liverpool that they would win 5-2. But I said that on aggregate they'd win 5 or 6-2. They just said, no, fuck that. I'm gonna do it in the first leg. I'm just gonna do that in the first leg. So I mean, this was a crazy game because Liverpool gets off to the quick start with Darwin Nunez's back heel flick into the goal past Thibaut Courtois. Then Courtois just makes a stupid error and just his ball bounces off his knee and Salah kicks it in 2-0 Liverpool. And Jamie Carragher in the booth is going absolutely crazy. Liverpool's gonna win. Liverpool's gonna win. And then Real Madrid showed up, bro. And then Real Madrid shows up. Vinny with an absolutely laser strike into the back corner of the net, 2-1. Then Allison makes a stupid mistake, rolls the ball on the ground. Vinny kicks it into the goal, or it deflects off Vinny into the goal, 2-2. Then Militao gets the header, and then Benzema with 2 goals, 5-2, Real Madrid. And this Real Madrid team is just totally unfazed. They could be down 8-0 and then come back in the second leg and win 9-0 and win on aggregate. I mean, this team is a wild what they do. This team pulls magic from the hat every single game. It's crazy to me what they do. But in my opinion, that they're the favorites to win the Champions League again this year. They know how to win this competition. They are gutsy. They have the talent. And the real reason that Real Madrid is so good in the Champions League is because their mentality. Because they never get down. They're down 2-0. We're good. 5-2 win. They're down 3-0. Screw it. We're gonna come back. They're down 2-0 against PSG. Screw it. We're gonna come back. This team knows how to win games. They play defense. They score goals. They do everything that you need to do to win games in the biggest moments. They don't make stupid mistakes. I mean, I know Thibaut Courtois made a stupid mistake, but that is very rare for them. And they still were able to win the game 5-2. So I just think that Real Madrid is going to absolutely throttle Liverpool. I think that they, at home, I mean, they might take it easy and just be like, screw, we're already up 5-2. We'll just take it easy on Liverpool. But Liverpool's not coming back. That's all I got to say. Liverpool is not coming back. Season is over. What they need to do is they need to do some Manchester United level things. I'm not saying to fire Jurgen Klopp because Klopp is a good coach, but they need to get some new players into that system. Maybe sign Jude Bellingham, maybe sign a few other midfielders to really shore up that midline so you're not playing Henderson and other 30-year-olds in your midfield. Maybe get some younger players that are actually have more potential and talent and can press because they like to press. Get some guys that are fit enough to press. Right now they have Gakpo, Nunez, and Salah. Maybe they could get rid of Salah, get another guy.
That's what I've been saying.
Luis Diaz. When he comes back, bro, that guy is a stud. That guy's an absolute stud. So if they have Diaz, Gakpo, and Nunez, that's still a good front three. So maybe they can get rid of Salah, shore up their back line and their midfield. They have Virgil van Dijk and Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, but the second center back position is a little iffy because they sometimes play Matip, they sometimes play Gomez, they sometimes play Konate. They just switch it around. Maybe they get some like stud center back, but we'll see. I mean, Liverpool season. I mean, I thought they were going to win the Premier League this year, or at least be close. And look at now, they're terrible.
Well, I mean, in the Premier League, they still, they have. I mean, we just brought up, their entire roster, and it's stacked.
It's stacked. They could make top 4, but they just drew at Crystal Palace. They can't. They're not getting results. They're not playing well. The names on the back of the jersey are not playing up to their potential, and I just don't see it this year, man. I don't think that they're going to make top 4. I don't think they're going to. You just look at the way they're playing. You gotta sometimes trust what your eyes are seeing. Like when you watch Manchester United play, they look like a good team. When you watch City and Arsenal play right now, they've been playing really well all year, but right now they're struggling. But the whole year, Arsenal looks like a good team. City looks like a good team. When you watch Liverpool play and you watch Chelsea play, they look terrible. Yeah. At least Tottenham has the thing where they have one good game, one bad game. Liverpool just has all bad games.
We balance it out.
yeah, you guys balance it out. But that's basically gonna do it for this episode of Champions League. We
Yeah,
know
I
what's gonna happen
mean,
in most of these ties. I mean, there's
yeah,
some iffy
like
ones like Inter Porto, but some of the other ones like Liverpool Madrid, like it's over right now. Like it's a wrap.
yeah,
So
I was at work when that game was going on, and I just remember opening my phone to see Real Madrid were at like plus 600 odds 15 minutes into the game. And I'm like,
yeah, you should have put it
I'm
all
gonna
on them, bro.
I'm, I'm like, are they losing by like 4 goals? What is happening?
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah, I mean, it's the first legs, we can't say that, we're surprised. I mean, a lot of the
no,
stuff that we said would happen happened. I mean, you literally
happened.
had,
Yeah,
yes, you had Madrid winning on the aggregate. Maybe it's a 0-0 game. They put their B team out there just to rest up
yeah,
their guys, see what
yeah,
happens. But yeah, I mean, the teams that we said would win, they won. Inter Porto
yeah.
was always kind of iffy for us. We just kind of went with whoever was home second, and that's how it
I mean, I
happened.
said that I thought that Inter was gonna win and they won. So I mean, we'll see how they do in the second leg. It's gonna be a little iffy, but
Yeah.
I mean, some of these games were a little awkward. Some of them were a little not as like the Manchester City game was not what we expected, but we'll see what
Mhm.
happens in the second leg. All
Yeah.
these teams have all to play for. Their seasons on the line, their Champions League seasons on the line. So we'll see. But make sure to follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Spotify, at Dubs Only Sports on all platforms. We're going to the moon, as I said before. So make sure to subscribe early and be one of the OGs because we're going to be getting some great content out. We're going to be getting some crazy stuff out. Tons of stuff happening. The NBA is going on right now. Some bad injury concerns in all sports. So lots of different sports news coming up. We'll keep you up to date, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace
Peace
out,
out,
guys.
guys.